Hey guys, so today's video is a will I buy it video. This gives me the opportunity to kind of talk about new releases that are coming out, share with you my thoughts on them, and as always, a big thank you to Samantha March for starting these types of videos. So I have my little list right here. Let's jump right into it. So the first one on my list is a biggie. This is the new Natasha Denona Biba palette, which is all neutrals. And this is another one of her 15 pan eyeshadow palettes. I don't believe this is going to be limited edition. I think this is part of her permanent line. And it's going to be released this Friday, the 15th. And it's going to be sold exclusively at Sephora, online and in-store for, I'm guessing, probably about a month. And then in April, it's going to be available at all of her other retailers, like Beautylish. So when I first saw pictures of this, I immediately was like, yes, this palette will be mine. I am so excited. She did swatches on her Instagram stories and she explained that the top row is a little bit warmer than the true neutral. The middle row has like a little bit of like a reddish cranberry undertone, I think maybe is the word that she used, cranberry undertone. And then the last row is the coolest. So there you'll find like a gray and a black. And this palette just speaks to me on so many levels. I love the packaging. I love Natasha Denona packaging when she does like the hard plastic with these removable pans. The names are listed right there. There isn't that funky plastic sheet that she sometimes uses like in her gold, lila, and sunset palettes. This one is like her tropic safari palettes. And I couldn't be more excited. It looks like there's a nice mix of creamy mattes, cream to powder formula, her metallic shades. I mean, I'm just like crazy excited for this. So I am definitely going to be running out and getting this palette when it is released. Hopefully it's going to be at one of the many Sephoras here in Vegas and I'll be able to get a video up for you guys fairly quickly. It'll just be a first look, obviously, because I'll just have gotten my hands on it, but we'll do some swatches. I'll give you my first thoughts. We'll do a look. And then I'm hoping maybe the week after to be able to do maybe like a 3 looks, 1 palette kind of video. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, but I am definitely getting my greedy little paws on this. And Natasha Denona is also, I think, reformulating her Foundation X foundation. And I was tempted. I've never tried any of her foundations. She has one that's called the Face Glow. I think that one is definitely more for me. But every time I've gone into store, the Natasha Denona section at Sephora looks like a stampede of elephants has gone through. Like, I can't find the shade. All the bottles are so messy. I don't even know like what's coming out of the bottle. It's always like super goopy. It's not quite right. The shade that I think I am is like always missing. So I've never really pulled the trigger on any of the Natasha Denona foundations, mainly because when I can't test out like the actual foundation and get a good sense of the texture of it. And also since I've never tried any of her foundations, it's like picking out a shade is like starting from scratch. And I don't know how her shades lean. They look like they lean very yellow and very warm, and I prefer something like a little bit more neutral. So anyway, the Foundation X I think is going to be a no for me because it's a full coverage, it's like a matte finish, and that's just not my comfort zone. I just don't like foundation like that. I don't like the way it feels on my skin. But the Face Glow, that's not new, but I may try that. I think a couple of you have asked me to review that, have suggested it, you used it, you really like it. One of my friends on Instagram, she just posted a picture with it there and I was like, what color are you? Because I think we're like a similar shade. So anyway, a Natasha Denona Face Glow full day wear test may be coming, but I think I'm going to be passing on the new Foundation X. And then makeup artist Patrick Ta, he does a lot of celebrity makeup and I follow him on Instagram and he is incredibly talented. His makeup looks are always so understated, but it's like so identifiable too. Like anytime I'm flipping through Instagram and I stop on a picture, I just know that's his makeup. Even though the look will be like, fairly natural, he just has such a way with skin and making it seem glowy and like lit from within without too much, like overly metallic highlighter. His looks always just look absolutely fantastic and flawless and beautiful and natural, but obviously not because there's a lot of makeup there, but just gorgeous. Anyway, he's coming out with a new line apparently of his very own, and I think he may be starting out with highlighters And I am extremely, extremely interested in this because, like I just said, he seems to have this real talent for making your skin really look like it is glowing from the inside out. So I am very excited for that. I don't think there are any dates or anything like that. I think he just kind of like teased the news a little bit. There aren't even any like, you know, black and white blurry promo shots or anything like that. He just kind of like mentioned it in one of his posts. So I have no idea when that's coming, but being that it's kind of like a skin highlighty kind of product, I'm assuming it's going to come out for spring, summer. So hopefully soon. And I'm just such a big fan of his. I hope it really does well, whatever it is. I hope it does well. I hope it is a great product. So I'm very excited for that. And then this caught my eye, the Jouer Hydrate and Set Powder. So this is a pressed powder, comes in a compact. It looks like there's 6 shades to start with. And what actually caught my eye was the imprint in the pan actually made it look like a Gucci product. And I thought, oh my gosh, is like Gucci coming out with new products. I got really excited, but it's Jouer. And so I kind of kept reading, and this was off of Trend Mood's Instagram feed. And I read about the powder. It has like hyaluronic acid in there, and it really is a powder that's meant to hydrate. So I think that's really interesting. I'm definitely tempted about this. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this. I think I definitely want to watch some reviews and see what the coverage is like. I would want something that is definitely on the lighter side. I don't think this is like a powder foundation. I think this is just kind of like a setting powder. So I'm hoping that it's matte or at least demi-matte and that it has a fairly sheer coverage. That would be my hope. And if that's the case, then I may give it a shot. And then Becca teased a new highlighter, and I feel like I had fallen off the Becca highlighter train. I love Champagne Pop. I think that's a beautiful color. I purchased some of the recently released like limited edition ones. I got the Synonymous one, the Parisian Lights. I purchased the Royal Glow one when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got married. I purchased that one, and I think I have like Vanilla Glow, which is lovely as well. But they've been coming out with these highlighters that are basically just like tinge different of a shade. And, you know, one will just be a little bit more pink, one will be a little bit more peach, one will be a little bit more gold. And I'm like, I just had to stop myself. But this new highlighter actually looks like it's a different formula. So their formula is like a pressed powder formula, and it is definitely on the creamier, thicker kind of side. So it has a lot of impact, and I feel like if you don't blend it in properly, it really looks like you have like highlighter stripe on your cheek. So now that so many highlighters have been coming out with like different and new formulas, like the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight, like those just have like a beautiful sheerness to them. They really give you that glow without having like this kind of like opaque stripe on your cheek. I feel like by the looks of the promo pictures on the Trend Mood Instagram feed, this Becca Pearl Glow highlighter looks like it could be a new formula, because it looks, first of all, the pan actually looks like a UFO. It looks really cool, but it looks like it's kind of coming out of the pan. It doesn't look like it's pressed into the pan. And so it looks like a baked product for me. And so if it's a different formula, I definitely want to try it, because I do think Becca is really good at highlighters and complexion products that make you glow. And so I'm really, really tempted by this. I don't know when this is coming out. I feel like a lot of things are coming out in April, just like full stop. Everything's kind of coming out in April for summer 2019. So that would be my guess. And then I was on some other Instagram feeds, which I will link down below, but there are some pics of the Guerlain Terracotta Summer 2019 line. This looks so interesting to me. So it looks like there's like a stick foundation. Then it looks like there is like a powder in a jar with a puff on top, almost like the Chantecaille powder with the brush on top. Like it's all built into like one component. And so you just kind of need to shake it up, and you can use like the loose powder that way. Great, great, brilliant idea for spring, summer when a lot of people travel and you don't want to, you know, pack like your huge loose powder canister. You want like a really travel friendly version of loose powder. And this looks to be it. And oh, so these are different. Okay. So it looks like there's a stick foundation and then the loose powder like I mentioned, and then it looks like there's a stick highlighter. I thought the highlighters were the foundations also, but it looks like there's also a stick cream highlighter. These look really beautiful. And then there's a face palette. The face palette looks like there is like a bronzer on the left side. In the middle, there looks to be like a typical Guerlain terracotta powder. It looks like it's a little bit shimmery. It looks like it's a little bit of a bronzer, but it looks a little bit light. And then the pan on the right looks to be split between a blush and a full-on highlighter. So this release looks very exciting to me. If this does reach the States, which I'm hoping it does, because Guerlain just released that foundation that's in that cute bottle, and that's been out in Europe now probably for a month or so, and it still hasn't come here to the US. So I am hoping this is going to be released in the US. This Instagram feed that I follow, I think she's in Russia. I'm not sure. I think she's in Russia. But a lot of the things that I see on her feed, if we don't get the whole thing, we'll at least see like some of the products trickle in. So fingers crossed that this comes here, because this looks really, really nice to me. And this same account, this Mer Cushion account, she also posted a picture of some new Dior stuff. And I like some Dior things, but generally when I go into like the Dior boutique or anything, I'll look around and nothing ever really jumps out at me. But I'm always like kind of intrigued by what's going on there. So in this picture, it looks like there's 2 new highlighters and then there's 2 new quints. I don't know if they're 2. Actually, I think maybe it's just 2 new highlighters and 1 new quint, because that quint looks the same. And then it looks like there's some new lip products and some new nail polish. The nail polish I'll definitely pass on. The lip products look really interesting. They look like they could be like a semi-sheer with some glitter in there, and some colors look like they could be metallic. All of this seems very, very in my wheelhouse. So I will definitely look further into this. I'm not sure if I'm going to take the plunge, but these do look really, really interesting to me. Oh, actually, I'm looking at a newer picture from Mer Cushion. And yes, it looks like there's 2 new quints and 2 new highlighters. I think. I'm not sure. I can't tell if that is from the same collection or not. I think so. I think I may have mentioned this in my previous Will I Buy It, but Chanel's Lepage Summer 2019 collection, I want it all. I want the 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I want the Lepage Water Fresh tint. I want whatever multi-use stick that is. I want whatever bronzer they have. I also want this Voyage de Chanel palette compact. I don't even know why I want it. I feel like whenever there's a product with 1 pan and it has highlight, bronzer, and blush in there, it's just a mess. You end up having to use all of the colors all together, and I end up kind of just throwing it on my face and not exactly sure what I'm doing with it. But this is so pretty to me that I feel like I need to try it. I feel like I'm gonna have to try it. So yes, to all the Chanel stuff that is coming out in the near future. I've just really, really been enjoying the Chanel releases. They've just been a lot of fun. They always kind of like, I'm not sure if I'll like that. And they always surprise me. I'm like, I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like a lot of the formulas are being revamped. Like this new Water Fresh tint is so cool looking. I have really no idea what's going on in there. I don't know if there's like little beads in there that kind of explode. I don't know if those are just bubbles. I really don't know what's going on in this picture, but it looks pretty darn cool to me. So definitely getting all this stuff from Chanel. All right, and the release I think I am most excited for is the Tom Ford Soleil Summer 2019 collection. This looks absolutely amazing. So there's gonna be 4 different lip color sheers: Otranto, Curaçao, Aphrodite, and Moustique. Some of those names actually sound familiar to me, and I'm gonna have to dig through my collection. I don't think I have these exact shades, but not this past summer, maybe the summer before, he came out with those lip products that had like the core in there, and I feel like maybe some of these shades are the same as those without the core, if that makes sense. Then next to that, we have a 24 karat nail top coat, which looks amazing. And then finally, it looks like we're getting a cushion compact foundation that has SPF. Looks like there's going to be 4 natural finishes and 4 luminous finishes. I don't know what that means. I don't know if luminous is maybe a dewy finish or if luminous is like a cushion compact highlighter. We'll have to see, but I definitely want to try that. And then it looks like we have 2 bronzers, and the bronzers have been reformulated, I've heard. So Tom Ford originally had come out with bronzers that were like pressed powders. They're beautiful. I have one in Gold Dust. It's gorgeous. I love it. Then they reformulated it. They renamed it to the Ultimate Bronzer, and it turned into like a baked bronzer. And I got that in Terra, and It's fine, but it's just once I get it on my skin, I think it's really lovely. It's just really hard to pick up. The baked product I feel like was just, I don't know, baked too long. Like it's too hard and it's too difficult to pick up. And I have to use like my Tom Ford bronzer brush or my Sonia G Sculpt 1 brush. Like no other brush will work on that bronzer. So I'm happy personally to hear that they reformulated the bronzers. Definitely want to give those a shot. And then there is a sheer cheek duo. This looks like a lot of fun. It looks like there's a bright pink and then one that's like a little bit more peachy nude pink. He usually does like a sheer cheek duo when they do the Soleil collection, so that's not terribly surprising. It looks like there's 2 lip balms with tint in the middle. There's an orange and a red. And then there's a lip blush with 24 karat gold flakes in there. So this is one of those color changing ones. It's a pink tint that turns darker with body temperature and has a nourishing formula for your lips. I mean, I'm going to get that just for the packaging. It looks like it's coming in limited edition gold packaging. The gold flakes, that's really pretty to look at. I think I just talked about color changing lipsticks and how I don't know how I feel about them. Like they're fun, but they're really just kind of gimmicky and I'm not the biggest fan of them, but this looks really cool. So I'm probably going to pick that up. Nail polish. And then there's 2 aqua metal shadows in 2 shades, gold and rose gold. That looks like a lot of fun. And that's an interesting change from the like duos that he usually does for eyeshadows. He usually has like the potted cream eyeshadow with the topper eyeshadow on top, like all in that one component. So this is an interesting change. I don't know how I feel about it. They really look like the Stila shimmer and glows. So we'll see if there's any benefit to the Tom Ford formula. But I am so excited for this collection. I really, really love like spring, summer collections. And whenever the Tom Ford Soleil one comes out, even if I'm not in love with all of the products, they just feel so summery to me. And I love it. I love when this collection comes out. So I'm really, really excited for that one. So the last thing I want to talk about is some new fragrances from Guerlain. They have an Aqua Allegoria line, which, and I'll just read this off of the Guerlain site. Aqua Allegoria is a continuously renewed collection that pays homage to the wonders of nature and beautiful raw materials, delicate and cheerful fragrances that represent sweet and happy moments. So they're releasing 3 this year, and Coconut Fizz is the one that I think I'm going to pass on. I'm not the biggest fan of like just coconut scents, and this one actually has like coconut water in there. I think if you're like a fan of that, you would probably love this Coconut Fizz. The bottle is so beautiful. The actual perfume has like this light blue color to it. It just looks really, really beautiful. The other 2 I am very intrigued by. So one is the Ginger Picante, and I'm really intrigued by this one because it's supposed to be kind of spicy, but also a little bit citrusy. And you guys know how much I like citrus. And if I were to stray from citrus, I do like scents that are a little bit spicy. So I'm definitely intrigued by this one. And then the last one that I definitely want to sniff is the Flora Charisha. And this one, I think, is also going to be one that's fairly on the sweet side, but I feel like it's going to be citrusy and a little bit floral also. So I'm definitely intrigued by the Charisha one and the Ginger Picante one, and the Coconut Fizz I'll probably pass on. So that will do it for this video. Let me know of some new releases that have hit your radar that maybe I didn't mention in this video. It's so hard to keep up with all these new makeup releases. It's really overwhelming. But let me know down below in the comments section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.